Sports pregame show.
Hello, Hoops fans. It's the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny, the Jet, the champion, Smith.
Tell him sit down.
And it's the Nets on a road trip for this one, an interconference game. And now, before we get to the tip-off, let's find out what Kenny Atkinson had to share with our day.
Well, Kevin, he said defensively their main priority is going to be preventing points.
Thanks so much, David.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go?
He'll be the Nets off the tip. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. Carroll and Booker are your small and power forwards. D'Angelo Russell out there with Crabbe. And it's Mozgov in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. On defense, Brooklyn, they defeated Indiana in their last game.
Just a terrific effort off the bench. Guys came in, they seemed fresh, and they all contributed.
Yeah, you need that juice, that gas coming off the pine. Always a luxury to have a deep bench. And when they can step in and play well, you're in good shape.
And he gets the bucket.
Yeah, Booker's starting to round out his offensive game. You've got to get up into him before he catches the ball.
And when you're on a young team that's still finding its way, how much does the losing take a toll on you as a player?
Well, I can speak to that because I was in that situation back in the early 80s. It does take a toll, but you keep your eye on what's ahead, and you relish the chance to develop as a young player. For the veterans, there's a lot less patience for a losing record, that's for sure.
Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Shot clock at 5. They set the pick. Feeds it to Crabbe. Rejected by Ginobili. Outside Aldridge. Pass to Leonard. He dishes it to Gasol. He can't hit that time. Excellent D there from Mozgov. For Brooklyn, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Russell kicks to Crabbe. Pass to Booker. Leonard with the steal. In transition, here come the Spurs. A finish, and Aldridge slams it in.
Leaving the rest of the field in the dust.
Well, I think the defense flat out gave up. I mean, didn't even try to get back into the picture on that fast break finish.
Knocked away. Leonard with the steal. And Aldridge slams it in.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Tipped away. And again, San Antonio running the court in transition. And there's Ginobili. That's good on the assist by Parker. Ginobili's got his first points of the night. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Spurs.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also, how about the fact defensively, they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
Clark, we know how big a Ohio State fan, I'm sorry, the Ohio State University fan that you are. Who is on your list for best players in the NBA coming out of the Big Ten?
Partner, you know me well because I was going to go right at you to correct you on that. It is the Ohio State University, as you indicated. Well, right now, probably have to go with Mike Conley. He's been superb throughout his career, particularly the last 4 or 5 years in terms of outstanding Big Ten players. Draymond Green, how can you not mention him? Double-time NBA champion, and then Oladipo out of IU, another guy that might be worthy of consideration there.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Green comes in for Manu Ginobili. And it's Mills in for Parker.
And, you know, the length and height of Aldridge make him a tough matchup. He's a hard guy to go against, a strong forward that has an impressive mid-range stroke.
The Spurs shooting their first free throws of the game. Rudy Gay's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And so LaMarcus Aldridge nails them both.
And, you know, Kenny Atkinson is a basketball lifer, Kevin. Played professionally abroad, and after his playing career was over, he went right into coaching.
And Atkinson, with a couple years as an assistant in Paris, 4 years in New York with the Knicks, came from Atlanta where he was a big-time assistant and well thought of by fellow Hawk players.
Yeah, you know, and after a decade as an assistant, Kevin, he led the Dominican national team, so he's had a vast reservoir of experiences on the sidelines as a coach, and now he's, of course, leading the Brooklyn Nets, and had a chance to hear him at a conference last year, and this guy is really got a chance to be outstanding as a coach and leader.
The Nets have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And on the season, you know, they're hitting about 76%, which is a decent rate.
You know, their percentages dropped off just a little bit compared to last year, guys, but it's not a huge drop-off, so no major concern.
Dishes to Mills. Inside. Here's Laverne. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. That one on Mozgov.
Yeah, really strong offensive thrust there, but then how about the defense able to negate that attack?
Yeah, doing exactly what he had to do right there, Greg, to make sure he wasn't going to get flushed on or Instagrammed.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
Gotta like the confidence. Such an important part of making shots. Nice seeing a big man knock down free throws.
58 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Lynn kicks to Mozgov. He feeds it to Lynn. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Brooklyn needs to get off a shot here. And again, it's the Nets missing.
Yeah, not a great shot there, especially when you got a lockdown defender guarding you.
Agreed. I mean, when the defense is right there, you got to move the ball, make the extra pass. That's a case of a poor shot selection.
Passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Teardrop shot. Count it. Good. LeVert's got 6.
Like the way LeVert controls himself, always under control, knows what he's looking for, takes his time, particularly when he's close to the basket.
And here's the fast break. The rebound by the Nets.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Right side, Green. They get a hand on it. Here's Laverne, and it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. Spurs lead by 3. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. And Jeremy Lin, a player who's come a long way in his time in this league from going untrapped.
I wasn't sure, if my career would ever pan out the way I was hoping for.
Well, in a game filled with some pretty big egos, there are also guys like that who are living the dream in their own very grateful way. Lin has certainly seen the highs and the lows.
And Kevin, not everyone's a superstar and certain of their future. Sometimes you get to be a superstar for a brief moment in time, but this game has a way of humbling people, even those who started out humble, like Lin.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Just jumped all over him, Greg. I mean, pounced on him, using their length and quickness to come away with those steals.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. Setting the floor for the Nets. We've got Hollis Jefferson. He's out there with Mozgov. Jeremy Lin is out there with LeVert. And it's Kilpatrick in at the 2. Good on the shot.
And Gay has great length down on the block there. Fantastic at just jumping on opportunities to score when he's down low.
Oh, that's blocked. But they get it back. Here's Kilpatrick. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game.
Really, it's a thing of beauty to watch Hollis Jefferson move the ball like that. I mean, he's a team-oriented guy who looks to make the pass as much as possible.
So it looks like the Nets will retain possession here. This break in the action gives us a chance to show you the NBA's current fast break specialists. Number 1, the Spurs.
And that's a fun category. Most fans love that kind of up-tempo offense, and these guys are the best in the game playing that style.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Pau Gasol, he's checked in for Laverne. Davis Bertans comes in for Kyle Anderson. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. And you look at Karis LeVert, 6'7", about 200 pounds. Clark, what's his best position?
I think he's just a player. Combo guard is probably what you would categorize him as. He can handle it, he can pass. He's slim, but I think he can play some small forward too. I mean, this is a guy that I think could be comfortable at 1, 2, or 3 as he continues to develop.
5 to shoot, and DeJounte Murray gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, clearly struggling here with the foul, still early, and just one more will put him over the limit.
Kawhi Leonard, he's checked in for San Antonio.
Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
Nets trail by 5. The pass to Hollis Jefferson. Crabbe with the ball. Outguarded by Murray. Crabbe kicks to Russell. There's the dish to Carroll. The feed to Booker. Pass to Carroll. They set the screen. Here's Russell with the 3. Kawhi Leonard with the rebound.
And, you know, the defense did a good job playing through the pick. Outstanding contest on the shot.
Pass to Bertans. He kicks it to Murray. Feeds to Gasol. And finished off by Gasol.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort for Gasol to dunk it home. At 7 feet tall, he uses his height to power home those jams.
Now here's Carroll. Tight defense on him. Screened by Russell. Kicks to Carroll. Passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Here's Russell with the 3. Rebounded by the Spurs. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
Away from home, you got to execute, and they did that flawlessly.
And that's what it comes down to, execution, especially when you're on the road. Can you follow your game plan? I thought they were awesome in that game.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play to finish.
That's tipped. Gasol with the steal. Here's Parker. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Leonard's got 4 assists now tonight.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Now here's Crabbe. He's covered by Murray. Screened by Russell. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. On the clock. There's Hollis Jefferson. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
And with the physical gifts that Hollis Jefferson has, he plays a lot bigger than his listed height.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Booker. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for the Nets.
And they haven't been able to exploit the 3 from the corner. Maybe some better ball movement would help open the floor and get that shot into their arsenal.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Marcus Aldridge is checked in for Gasol. Green comes in for Bertans. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for DeJounte Murray. And it's Mills in for Parker. Whistle blows. If that's going to be a travel. Anderson, he's checked in for the Spurs. And a switch here for Brooklyn. Jeremy Lin, he's checked in for Trevor Booker. So it's the Spurs now. And Mills kicks to Anderson. Outside Aldridge. Poked loose. It's stolen by Carroll. To the wing on the left. Crabbe from long range. They get it back. And the Spurs with possession. Big stretch here going 10-2. Mozgov with the block.
7-1 with a plus wingspan. Mozgov can send your shot behind you in a hurry. .19 seconds left in the first half.
Here's Mills, and the lead now, double digits on that bucket.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Anderson right side, and that's going to do it. Some good defense down the stretch to end the quarter. And so it's San Antonio holding on to an 8-point lead heading in.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with.
All right, David, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. LaMarcus Aldridge was the story in the first quarter. He had 8 points and 1 steal. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how San Antonio played?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense.
And time now to...
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Going up, Park, you were Mr. Basketball USA, a national ranking. Be truthful. How dominant were you in high school in Cleveland, Ohio?
I was a really good high school player, considered one of the top 2 or 3 in the country in 1979, which was actually perhaps the best high school class ever. Documented by many who follow the game: Isaiah Thomas and Sam Bowie, James Worthy, Ralph Sampson, Dale Ellis, Terry Cummings, Dominique Wilkins. I could go on and on. A terrific class, and I was considered at the top of that class as a high schooler.
Skilled tandem of Leonard and Aldridge at the 3 and the 4. The timeless Parker and Manu are the 1 and the 2. And it's Gasol at the 5. That's the San Antonio 5. Russell kicks to Mozgov. Now here's Cram. D right on him. And there's the call on Ginobili. That's foul number 2 for him. Now here's Cram. He's covered by Ginobili. LaMarcus Aldridge grabs the miss.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain-neutral position.
Russell dishes to Booker. He feeds it to Carroll. They get a hand on it. It's Carroll on the wing. The shot missing. So the Spurs will take it the other way. Next up for them, the Knicks coming out here to play. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's his first foul. San Antonio making a switch here. Burns checked in. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
Crabbe in the corner. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Crabbe's got his first 3 points of the game.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D. And now this game is becoming a showcase for Aldridge. He's been out of control. A one-man team. Now it's just a matter of getting him the ball and getting out of his way.
And Laverne gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. Rudy Gay's checked in for Leonard. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for the Nets. Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now. Russell kicks to Crabbe. And the 3 ball is good. Crabbe's got 6 in the quarter.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
I think they're playing too soft on the perimeter. They can't stay so soft. They've got to get up into the shooters here.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Bertans comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. And Murray's subbed in for Manu Ginobili. Nets trail by 10.
And a big move for D'Angelo Russell this past offseason. Traded from the Lakers to Brooklyn. Now one of the major building blocks of this team that has embraced him wholeheartedly.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You gotta love the intensity on that attack by Parker to draw the foul. He is a beast
off the bounce.
And with the draft spot the Lakers had and the spotted history with D'Angelo Russell, you know, Greg, it wasn't a huge shock to see him move.
You know, it just seemed to me that Russell wasn't the right fit for what LA wanted to do. Still a very young and talented player who has a chance to kind of reinvent himself here in New York. He's shown a bit more maturity since that trade and since joining this team.
Kept alive, Parker. Nice work on the boards, paying off with the basket. Parker's got the lead up to 14 now for San Antonio. Now the pass to Hollis Jefferson. He dishes it to Lynn. There's the feed to Russell. Screened by Russell. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. And some changes here for the Spurs. Anderson, he's checked in for Berginus. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Shot clock at 6. And the shot is good. The Spurs lead has been cut down now to just 12 on the basket from Kilpatrick. Third quarter action and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Back to Laverne. Over Booker. Shot's good by Laverne.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Yeah, no let up. The killer instinct on display, trying to put this team away. I love the tenacity.
Dishes to Lynn. Lynn, a screen on Green. Pass to Kilpatrick. Nets passing it around. Lynn from long range. And the Nets, another 3.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
And, Greg, it's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
Pass to Hollis Jefferson. Here's LeVert. He's covered by Gay. Passes to Kilpatrick. The dish to Booker. The pass to Kilpatrick. And the shot goes in. Kilpatrick's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Here's Laverne. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Laverne's got 6.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Well, the defensive rotations, Greg, have been a step slow, and it's really helped them get that ball inside time after time.
There's the triple. They grab their own miss. Booker. It's off. And so it's San Antonio. 13 points up at the end of the period. And their ability to get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. Right back after this break.
Flip mode. 9-7. Bust a bus.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see. Here's Lynn. On the court for the Nets, getting the fourth quarter going. Jamari Carroll is out there with LeVert. Then it's Mozgov. Then it's Jeremy Lin. And it's Kilpatrick in at the 2-guard spot. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Spurs.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
Yeah, and also the way they've been able to generate points off of the turnovers that they forced tonight has also helped.
That one misses for Mills. Clark, you were a fantastic rebounder your entire career. What do you feel gave you the edge over the other players in the glass?
You know, one of my fellow Buckeye greats, actually the greatest Buckeye of all time in basketball, I think, was Jerry Lucas. And he talked an awful lot about rebounding being more about timing and pursuit of the ball than anything else. And I had a good gift of timing, and I clearly was chasing down that pumpkin as well as most. And those were the things that allowed me to be a good rebounder. Good timing, good hands, and pursuit of the basketball. It wasn't complicated, but some of it was giftedness. The other part was persistence and hard work.
The Nets making a switch here. Crabs checked in. Aldridge kicks to Leonard. Then Gasol with the dunk.
Just increasing their advantage, and right now they're in a zone on both ends.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be terribly deflating for the opposition. Boy, they look helpless, really getting beat up physically and emotionally.
Feeds it to Lynn. Here's the screen. Just 4 to shoot. Here's LeVert. Here's Mozgov. And the layup's good off the glass.
Beautiful timing there by Mozgov. Converts off the miss.
Kicks it to Aldridge. It's stolen by Carroll. Here's Lynn. With the second effort, here's Mozgov. And 3 chances on that possession, but they just couldn't find a way to score. Leonard attacking. Here's Aldridge. And the dunk by Aldridge.
He's their go-to guy, and when he shoots the ball like he has today, that's what the scoreboard usually looks like.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. Nice game. Great performance by LaMarcus Aldridge.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
Tony Parker's checked in for the Spurs. And the Nets also making a change. Russell's checked in. Nets trail by 17. Out to the right wing. Rejected by Gasol.
And really, Gasol does an incredible job getting his hands up in the air, which results in a ton of rejection.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
And how? I mean, they're taking this defense to task, taking them to school. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
And really, the first 3 or 4 seasons of his career, DeMarre Carroll was kind of a fringe rotation player. I think once his three-point shooting took form in Atlanta, that's when his value as a player skyrocketed.
Trevor Booker, he's checked in now for the Nets. And Parker, here we go. The stupendous finish in traffic. And the Spurs lead by 19.
And when you give Parker room to work his magic down inside, he knows how to finish with style.
Here's Booker with nobody on him. He buries the jumper.
And that's definitely a shot that he has in his arsenal.
And there's the feed to Aldridge. And Aldridge slams it in.
And since they've come out of halftime, they've been extremely poised and very efficient.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, certainly a step up from the first half. They're more engaged, more focused here in this second half, and they're getting good results.
Russell with the bucket.
They opened the gates, and he came through. D'Angelo, quick recognition.
Leonard attacking. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
That is not possible. What we just, is that possible?
I think it is, Greg. Not probable, but like possible, like you said.
Kevin and Greg, I'm telling you, that is he's one of the few players in the NBA who can pull something like that off.
Booker has screen on Ginobili. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard. That's foul number 2 for him. Well, we know just how athletic the NBA has become since its inception. Clark, even from when you played, just how much faster and stronger has the game become?
I would say if we were going to try to put a percentage on it, I think it's grown 60, 70% in terms of athleticism. And a lot of it is attributable to the training advances that have been made in sports science and sports medicine and sports performance. And that's benefited and aided the players greatly. And then you have players that have really bought into nutrition and year-round maintenance of their bodies and taking advantage of this technology to enhance performance. And then it becomes a herd mentality. More and more of the guys are doing it, and more of them are benefiting from this enhanced training. So I'd say it's at least 70% better than 30 years ago.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Spurs.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win, a game that not many will soon forget, and on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And so it'll boost this year's win total for them to 29.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
It sure is. It's just a 2-gamer since they're in opposite conferences, and you can bet they'll take the same approach right into game 2 that they had tonight.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Aldridge.
He was doing everything right in the point. Came in bunches, definitely had the hot hand.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. That's good from Mozgov.
And, you know, the Russian Mozgov is a really valuable big guy, effective on both ends of the floor, and those guys are hard to find.
Here's Pertinis. Tried to bank it in, but he misses. And here are the Nets. Anderson with the block. And that's out of bounds. Brooklyn will retain possession. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Dinwiddie with the bucket.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
I think he's got to be more aggressive, stronger, getting through those screens. Can't allow shooters that kind of space to pull the trigger.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this arena, you can feel it.
Big time. I mean, it's amazing. Their crowd letting them hear it, and that's always inspiring. They want to see this thing get wrapped up.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Brooklyn called for the foul.
And one thing you can say about Green, I don't know of too many players who are as dependent on their three-point shot as he is. He needs that shot to be falling for him to make an impact.
And he makes the first but misses the second. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but all right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony.
So I take my on safety. There's a lot of hate me coming out of the building. They set me up. In the puddle, I lay close to the edge. I guess I didn't know the ledge.